You might think that your only problem right now is how to obtain the visa. No, if you come in without a proper plan and a strategy, you would quickly realize that your problems actually begin when you arrive in the country. Yes, my people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chioma. If you're just stopping by here for the first time, today is Saturday and I have plans, okay? I have plans. But as well, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your support on here. And so I also wanted to spend some time with you on this beautiful Saturday. This is 2022. I am sure a lot of you have had time to sit down, reflect, and thought about the things that you want to achieve this year. You know, whether you're into New Year resolutions or not, there's just something about the beginning of the year that prompts people to take stock of their lives. 2020 and 2021 were very interesting years. Despite all of that happening, it seems like the world is moving towards accepting that this has become our new reality and finding ways to live around it. Okay, so there's no reason for you to be left behind. Dust off those plans and get ready to start smashing those goals. Okay, and just one piece of good news for Australia: the borders are open for international travel. International students are returning. People are able to leave the country and come back into the country. And also there was a recent announcement that was made just this past week, and it was regarding the fact that the Australian government is thinking about dropping the 20-hour per week restriction or the 40-hour per fortnight restriction on the work hours for international students. Yes, so they are finally allowing international students in certain occupations to be able to work full time. So that may be good news for you, okay? So I just wanted to drop that out there. But the intention, the big intention behind making this video is just to remind you about the importance of proper planning and research in your relocation plans, your relocation goals. My darlings, please, whatever you do, don't take this lightly. I always say this: the goal for you should not be just obtaining a visa. It's about settling successfully in your new country. It's about being happy with that decision you've made to relocate 3 years, 5 years, 7 years down the track. Yes, everybody needs a period of adjustment when they first arrive in the new country. So the first few years might be rough. That is understandable. But what I'm talking about is where 7 years down the track, 5 years down the track, you're still questioning whether you made the right decision. That should not be you, okay? I'm making this video so that you know better and do better. Some people, as soon as they hear the word research, they go limp, because research has this connotation of being tedious, being time consuming, painstaking, it's joyless, it's all of that. Yes, and it can be. But if you're someone who feels that for you to successfully relocate, all you need to do is pay some agent and then go to sleep, and once your visa is out, they would call you so that you can pack your bags, hop in a plane and zoom off, change your strategy. Your strategy should be more robust than that, okay? If you're another person who is relying almost entirely on watching YouTube videos, again, change your strategy. And I know I'm making YouTube videos regarding relocating, right? But I don't want you to take Chioma's word for it. If there is nothing else you do, the one recommendation I would say for you not to ignore is to read up by yourself everything that is contained on the official immigration website to the country you want to migrate to, whether it is Australia or the UK or Canada, wherever. The best place to get the most accurate, most up-to-date information is the official immigration website. But you see, watching YouTube videos, paying an agent, doing these two, or doing anything else without doing this one recommendation I have given you is wrong. Take your time. And that's another thing. Don't feel pressured by other people's experiences. The goal is to thrive, to grow in your new environment. You might think that your only problem right now is how to obtain the visa. No, if you come in without a proper plan and a strategy, you would quickly realize that your problems actually begin when you arrive in the country. I know people have this very strong impression that when it comes to immigration, it's always difficult. There's no way you can navigate that process successfully without the help of other people, and so you must pay an agent. No, like I said, why people find it hard is because they are not researching. Because when you're researching, what happens is that you're gaining more information. And when you gain more information, things become less confusing, more clear, and less daunting. There is also nothing as beautiful as having peace of mind that you're doing the right thing the right way. A lot of people have good dreams, lofty dreams and all of that. They have all these intentions around their relocation, and which is good. Like I said, it is a good thing. It's not a wrong thing by any means. But then going about it the wrong way just brings the wrong outcome, and that's not what you're after, right? So please remember that the outcome you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Put in that work to get the outcome you're looking for. All this funet that I am talking, let it not go in vain. No, I beg. This is 2022. We know better. Let's do better. Okay. I want to start hearing stories of people who have successfully migrated, who are enjoying their journey here. Okay. Who are smashing the goals they had even before they left their home country. That's what I want to see in 2022. It would be so nice to celebrate that with you, okay? So another thing is that when you do your planning and your research properly, it helps to clarify what options are available for you and the suitability of those options to your particular situation, okay? For instance, if you want to come into Australia, there are different visa subclasses that you can apply for, but you might realize that some of them are more suitable than others. When you do your research, you avoid situations where someone sells something to you without actually knowing what would be suitable to you. I am talking about people who rely heavily on agents. You go to an agent and then they sell you an option and they make it seem like that's the only option you have. You agree to that option only to discover that there was a better option the whole time that you could have taken. I have stories for days about people who relied so heavily on agents. They were sold impossible dreams. They came into the country and discovered that what they were told was not what they met here. It wasn't the reality that they met here. Let me tell you a very quick story. Back in 2016, shortly after we arrived, I think it was a year after we arrived, we met this brother in church who at that time was new in the country. He had come in to start his course. And it was a course that was chosen by an education agent back in Nigeria. This education agent did not give him the full information, and what information he actually gave this brother was misleading. So he told him things like he could raise his tuition fees here in Australia. And I am not saying that that is impossible, but this brother was going to be paying $64,000 for a 2-year master program. Now, the most important part around the prospects of the course he was coming to study towards permanent residency, this agent conveniently left out. So this brother did not even know that that expensive course he was coming to study had no prospects towards permanent residency. It was after he arrived in the country that he discovered. And then that was when it also dawned on him that there were restrictions on his visa around how many hours he could work. And those restrictions impacted on the kind of jobs he was getting in the first place. He could only get casual jobs. And so he sat down and he thought about how exactly he was supposed to raise $64,000 for 2 years, okay? At the end of the day, he packed up his bags. He was like, no, this is not for me, and he left. So when we met him in church, he was telling us about all these things he had discovered, like just venting his frustrations. And then 2 weeks after, we heard that he had left. He wasn't the only one. What about people who come in here with having not properly researched the prospect of the courses that they are coming to study? There are people who just want to gain a student visa so they can come into the country. So the courses they are coming to study will not lead to anything by way of permanent residency in the country. So a lot of them come in, decide to then change courses. Remember, whatever tuition fee you've paid towards your first course is gone. You're not getting that money back. So they enroll in another course. Maybe they finish that first course and then enroll in a second course. But then, even when they enroll in a second course, they still have not done their research. So they enroll in yet another course that appears to have prospects towards PR, But then they don't realize that there are extra requirements they need to meet to be able to apply for permanent residency under that occupation. And so it's just a vicious cycle of applying for student visa after student visa. Some of them would have to like pack up their things, move from one state to another state, chasing after permanent residency, and it always seems elusive. If you're studying a master's course, as an international student, usually it's about 2 years. Some people come in here to study towards a bachelor program. It's not every international student that will be studying towards a master's. A bachelor program is at the very least 3 years. So imagine finishing a 3-year course, enrolling for another course, and then at the end of the day, discovering that even then, you still can't meet the requirements towards applying for permanent residency. If you are in doubt about how to choose a viable course to study that has the potential to lead towards permanent residency, please check out a video I made earlier when I first started my channel about how to research and find a viable course for the purpose of permanent residency in future. It doesn't stop at just checking the skilled occupation list for what sorts of occupations are there so that you can study towards those occupations. It doesn't stop there. You also want to find out exactly how that occupation fares in the selection rounds for permanent migration. If it is one of those very competitive occupations like IT, accounting, nursing, engineering, then you want to be honest with yourself about whether you can actually meet those requirements, whether you would be able to gain scores as high as 90 points, 95 points, 100 points before you are invited. Think about all these things, okay? And just because I mentioned the story of this brother, it brings to mind some of the challenges that international students face here, some of the things that you probably do not know about coming into study as an international student. So please watch a video that I made regarding this. It was one of my recent videos, and I am going to put links to all these videos in the description box. So please go check them out. All right. If you're someone who has relocated to another country, do you want to share perhaps some of the things that you think are crucial for people to factor into their planning when it comes to relocation, so that, you know, other people can benefit from your wisdom? Some of the things that have helped you to settle in successfully that you think a lot of people actually gloss over or ignore, but which is super important. Put it in the description box. Another thing I'm going to say is you can always connect to me personally through Instagram or by email, and I will have links to my email address and my IG handle on the screen or in the description box. Okay, so you can always connect with me. I love to read from you. So what I'm saying is avoid shortcuts, put your head down, get to work, pull out your notebook and a pen, take down notes, read as much as you can. Like I said, the number one recommendation when it comes to doing your research around visas in particular would be the immigration website. But beyond that, you also want to research all you can about the country you're going to, depending on your personal needs or on your family needs. If you're going to be coming in as a family, also research some of those things that are important to you, okay, as a family or as a single person. Employment, wages, the living conditions, cost of living, quality of life, all of that fun stuff. And if you're going to eventually use a migration agent, this is one important tip for you. Make sure you've done your research before you employ the services of a migration agent. I have also shared here about how the agent we used when we applied for our very first visa that brought us to Australia, he was making mistakes in the advice he was giving us. And it was only because I had been researching independently and extensively that I was able to identify those mistakes. So you don't want that to happen to you, because that can actually cost you your visa. Now, you don't want that to happen after putting in all that work and all that money. And to wrap everything up, know that this is your own journey. Don't be pressured by what is happening with other people. Don't be pressured by the fact that other people seem to be getting results faster than yourself, okay? When you start researching extensively and finding out information, the right information, what it also does is clarify your priorities, clarify your goals. And so you know you're pursuing your own goals, not another person's goals. Don't be pressured. Anyways, guys, that is what I wanted to come on here and share with you. That's all. I'll see you again soon. Bye.